Nine God NT in the building. We live, we lit. We running about a couple minutes late. Couple mics out. We got Faise One backstage. We get ready to crack heads and twist caps. We the hottest in the game right now. Right? Shout out Sunrise in the building. We're gonna run that intro. We're gonna give them time to get in here, y'all. Y'all on TV.
And the ancestors are looking out for us. Todd Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under.
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown lekker. Peace.
Young
Be unto you.
TV.
Hit that like.
Hey, we the hottest in the game right now. And man, I'm telling you, I just made some new discoveries today. We got a cartoon program. We got a reanimation program. We got the AI remix, all that. We got all the programs to start creating the anarchy cartoons now. So we're gonna be dropping them anarchy cartoons. We got a lot going on, man. We about to go on to a whole nother level. Hakeem about to start his own channel called Hakeem World. Stay tuned for that. Where he gonna be doing all the little kid stuff, going around to the grocery store and the goo goo gaga stuff. You know what I'm saying? Hakeem finna get to it. Start his own channel. We're gonna be working on that, y'all. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna be bringing young Hakeem channel in, Hakeem's World. So we're gonna have the cartoons. We're gonna have the reanimations. We redoing the books right now, all the pictures. So that's why we haven't really we got Faise. Hey y'all, ladies and gentlemen, bring it to the stage, Faise One. Hey Faise, hotter and hotter. You turning 400 degrees, 500 degrees right now, man. I'm telling you, everybody, I'm getting a lot of calls asking about you. I'm getting like calls from other people, you know what I'm saying, hey, who's this young guy Faise, you know? And then they finna be calling some of them big stations that want to get you on for interviews. I see it happening right now. It's about to happen. Yeah, but we're talking about demons, man. We've been battling, man. Me and your dad, we've been talking. Everybody, man, like everybody's fighting some kind of force. Your dad said it wasn't an outside force; it's an inside force. It starts within. But we fighting. But we got bacterias, you know, we got different things that can be demons, and people want to know what different type of demons are there, and what. And now after this, I think they'll know how to defend themselves from these demons. They'll know what is the demon and how to defend themselves from it, because you can't really defend yourself from something you don't even know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, like, could you go in on the different perspective of what is a demon to start with. That'll be the first question. Then we'll get into the next thing. We go bite right down into it. I'm gonna move out.
So for the people that just tuned in, Rahubat, peace, greetings, hotep. It won't necessarily be this class that you will be getting your tools for your psychic defense or your psychic self-defense. That is coming though. I think we got one Wednesday, but for the psychic self-defense, this live I'm gonna get into the discrepancies and the differentiations between the different types of beings that we're speaking about and how to identify them, and basically when you encounter them, how you are to respond and certain things like that. Of course, it'll get into later on the psychic self-defense and things and such. But demons, this is really like the hell conversation. This is like the hell, heaven. When you speak to a lot of people who come from the conscious community orientation or the spiritual community orientation, what they've been taught to say, because the most of their foundation is based off of opposing religion like Christianity and Islam, they've been literally taught to repeat a lot of the same type of jargon and rhetoric, which is hell is a state of mind. And that's basically as far as they're going to go with it, and just say that what you're experiencing in your lifetime is what hell is, and what you're experiencing in your lifetime is what heaven is. And what you're like, how you have people like Umar Johnson who said, if I can't experience my heaven while I'm here, then I don't want it. I don't want the religion. And that's why I was sending out messages to people like him that if you actually read the book, it didn't say that you had to die, you understand, to experience heaven. It actually was explaining to you that which was called heaven, if you were speaking about the embodiment of it or the essence of it, or even the physical manifestation of it in the formation of the city of Jerusalem or the crystal city, it was spoken of to have been coming down at a certain point in time from God out of heaven. In Revelation chapter 21, you'll find that. So this was supposed to happen where they literally said the whole world was going to be able to see it, that the sky was going to roll back, and that everybody was going to be able to behold it in real time as they were alive. And you have all these other ascended masters like Enoch or Idris or Metatron, and you have Elijah, you have Jesus, you have all these other people who were able to elevate and ascend past the earth plane and go into this place that Jesus was saying was heaven. Our Father who art in heaven, all right? And he said, I'm not from your world, I am from another world. I am not of this world. I am from above, you are from beneath. And above, to whoever those people were at that time, were saying that was heaven, or outernos, or uperenios, or the heavenly higher realms. You understand? So people are struggling, especially in the spiritual community, with the possibility alone that these are actual places. And they're struggling with the possibility alone that when you say, oh, demons are just parts of ourselves, that you could be 100% incorrect. You understand? There's a possibility that you don't know what you're talking about. And that possibility is somewhere around 100%. Because the truth is, when you've encountered these beings in actuality, not in some dream state alone, or not just in some figurative type of speech. No, when you actually encounter what you're referring to as demons, or how you have these teachers like Bobby Hemmett come out and say, no, demon is just demon. It's not just demon. It can't just be demon, because in all actuality, even with people speaking about the going within, because a lot of the spiritual community have been using go within, but they may not understand what it actually means. And they've forgotten that the law of correspondence doesn't just speak about the within, it also speaks about the without. And the whole purpose of understanding the within is so that you can understand the without. The whole purpose of acquiring the knowledge of the esoteric is so that you can operate in the exoteric, which is the realm within you. You understand? Or the realm around you, the exo, outside. You understand? So a lot of people are struggling with that when they say, yo, daemon is just a guide, or daemon is just a guard, or daemon is just a guide. And it's interesting that it seems like all of the dark stuff is what people are supposed to be gravitating toward. It seems like when you have these teachers come out, they want everybody to gravitate. They say, embrace your demons. They say, make friends with the demons. They say, yo, you're having two different conversations. What they're really trying to say when they're saying embrace your demons is they saying if you have flaws that you want to correct, don't beat yourself up about it. Come to terms with it. That's a whole different conversation. But if you really knew of the different types of imps and ghouls and jinn and genies that we were really speaking about, that has nothing to do with aspects of the self. You can act like them. You can function like them in this plane, but they're their own beings. Some of them are evolutionary, some of them are instinctual, but they're their own beings. They're going to do whatever it is that they have to do to survive, or they're going to carry out their own will, and they're going to feed on human beings. And they love for people to put out these messages saying, oh, make sure that you go to these jinn and make the jinn do your bidding. Well, let me tell you something. You're not going to get a single jinn to do your bidding. These beings have been here for way longer than what you can wrap your mind around. And human beings are such a small, minute life form, a flash in the pan of what this whole grand scheme is about, that they source from you. You're not making jinn do anything. Their whole purpose is to source you and to work through you to interact with this plane that you refer to as the material plane. Why the fuck would they need a human being other than for that? You can't make them do anything. You understand? The same story with Rumpelstiltskin, where I explained why did he come to her and ask her for any piece of her belongings, her necklace, her ring, if he had the ability to produce gold from straw. You understand? Which means that he had to be in tune with the alchemy some type of way. The elements had to be known to him for him to be able to work with straw and yield it or transmutate it into gold. The same thing with the lead into gold. But he didn't give a fuck about the gold. He didn't give a fuck about any of the things of this world. What he wanted was what she possessed, which is the key word, possession, dealing with the spirit. You're not making the Jan do anything. You understand? If the Jan got you convinced that you're doing or they're doing your bidding, then you might want to rethink your position in the earth plane. Okay? Because they use human beings like elements, how we use water, earth, fire, and air. They use human beings like how we pick up a pen and move it across. You're their chess pieces. You understand? Which is why you have certain orders set up to let you know, for one, if you were going to deal with Jan, you better know what you're getting into. You understand? You better have a full understanding of what you're speaking about when you go into the Orishi and all this other stuff. Because even to say Orishi, the word Ori is saying my light, and Ishi is like Esha, which is a fiery being. You're dealing with whole different types of beings on a whole different type of wavelength, a whole different type of frequency in your realm that do live and they do operate in multiple planes. But when it comes time to you thinking you're stepping to the altar to source them, you're actually being brought to that altar so they can source from you. You understand? And you saying, oh, I'm the son of this, I'm a daughter of this, but you're not bloodline related. So they love to take advantage of beings like that because you just willingly giving away your energy, which is why certain orders were set up. Christianity, Islam, and the rest of these orders were set up to try to protect you from Iblis and his gang, because that's really who you're dealing with, the ones who got control over this whole field. You understand? And if you keep rendering yourself unto them, listening to these people who don't know anything about what they're talking about, or they do know what they're talking about, and they're causing for you to follow or follow like they did, okay? If you continue to do that, well, then you're making your own contracts and you're making your own bed. So what you're speaking about when you're saying demons is not just daemon as some spirit that's supposed to be good. That's how they're painting it. No, when you really went into it and you found out what they were speaking about, a spirit or a light being or a seraph or a cherub or whatever you want to call it, these are angels. At the end of the day, these are people or beings who have either interdimensionally traveled here, or from your same dimension or realm that you're in, they came into the earth plane and now they operate here with you. Some of you have experienced them. That's why I go into the sleep paralysis experiences. You may not know why you're having a sleep paralysis experience, but sometimes you have people who have said they've been assaulted in multiple different ways by these beings. Okay, that's when you go into the different types of those beings. So you have the incubi and then you have the succubi. The incubi are the male demons, all right? And I'm saying male intentionally because if you really know who and what these beings are, you've observed one particular detail about these beings, the incubi. They have a penis. They actually have a phallus. You understand? So you have to ask Bobby and Brother Panic and the rest of you, whoever these people were, to ask them to explain why was that an occurrence. If this was just some aspect of the self, then why was a female or a woman experiencing where women speak about it? They may not speak about it openly in public now. But I've spoken to a lot of women, especially in the Clubhouse days when Clubhouse was popping, where they said they really had sexual encounters with incubi. And a lot of men have had sexual encounters with succubi. What type of encounters am I speaking about? I'm talking about you wake up and you can literally feel somebody mounting you. You understand? Or you wake up and you can feel somebody penetrating you. And don't think that the incubi are just straight males. They also have homosexual incubi. This is very important because if these are just spirits, then why do they have reproductive organs or genitalia? You understand? If these are just spirits, then why do you wake up and hear somebody scream your name? You understand? If this is just some ghost or a godly spiritual element type being or occurrence, then why is it that people wake up and they literally can observe scratch marks? You know what I'm saying? No. So I just wanted to start that off with, they would like to know what they're talking about, but either these people are intentionally deceiving you or they're just out of the loop. They haven't been exposed to certain realms. And when you're exposed to certain realms and certain occurrences, you know you have the responsibility of not letting people, of not telling people the wrong information. You get what I'm saying? You're not leading people astray. Are you with me? So you have different forms of these beings. You have the imps, you have the incubi, you have the succubi, you have the what do you call them? The ghouls who, when people speak about, oh, you're not supposed to drink alcohol, right? Because they said it's alcohol. What they're really trying to say is it's alcohol, because the coal would have brought you to the cosmetics in Arabia. Okay, it didn't have anything to do with demons, unless you were speaking about the fact that with those cosmetic practices, they were able to darken their eyes. So you would think that that meant that they were becoming more demonic. Other than that, coal is cosmetics, it had nothing to do with it. But Ghoul is speaking about grave robbers. You understand? Beings who actually deal with the death magic, or necromancy, or black magic, as you call it, or beings who interact from those dark electromagnetic frequencies. You understand? So you have those ghouls, literally referred to as grave diggers or grave robbers or stealers. Are you with me? So you have all these different type of beings, the Jan and the genies. When you get into the movie, what was the Aladdin movie? Say the word Aladdin. 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 Are you with me? If anybody coming from the Muslim or the Islamic walk, what do you know? That the deen is your way of life and what you're supposed to keep up. The deen is important to you being a Muslim. You understand? If you're saying Aladdin or Aladdin, and you have a story where there's a cave of wonders in the movie. There's a cave of wonders that this sorcerer Jafar was supposed to try to get this treasure from, which was this lamp, which was literally a medium to be able to contact one of the most powerful jinn that they knew of, which was referred to as a genie. Okay, it's the same thing. It's all phonetics. Jinn, genie is the same. You know what I'm saying? Genius, genome, genesis is all speaking about some type of beings that exist beyond the human beings' existence, that have power over the human beings. When you get into another phonetics of the word demon, you get daemon, okay, or daemon. And daemon, if you go look up the etymology, was saying to subdue or to tame a person or a being. You understand? So in this movie, Aladdin, you have this cave of wonders allegory. And it was about all of this treasure being accessible to you. Notice they put it in the middle of the desert. Stay with me. All of this treasure is accessible to you, but you're not supposed to touch the treasure. You're only supposed to get what you came to get, which was that lamp, which was that light. Stay with me. And that was what they were able to use, light being information. If you from the orders, if you're not, that's what light means. It's information, a certain key that you're able to use, a password that you're able to use to get through certain doors. That lamp or that light was all he was supposed to go in there and get. And that's how he was going to be able to do work with whoever these Jan or Rishi or angels were. You understand? They had the monkey who was there, interestingly enough, because the monkey brought you back to another being called Jehudi, which a lot of people don't know this about Jehudi or Tahuti. He was associated with the baboon, not just the ibis, also the baboon. And he was also referred to as a god of the moon. A lot of people think they're saying Tahuti because they think they're speaking in terms of the order of the sun. They don't know Tahuti literally played both sides at times, or he'll stand in the center and not join a side. But he was also association with Osiris or Osir or Saru, okay, or Ma'at, okay, which we'll get into that in a second because it comes into the conversation of the duat or the underworld, okay. But he was also tied to being the god of the moon, up literally in the underworld with the rest of these beings who were in the dark. And that monkey was his symbol. You find it in the holy tablets that Malachi York was speaking about it. You understand? And the monkey is also something that is spoken about by the ones who refer to themselves as monks, okay, as a certain aspect of the self that you have to become familiar with, which is the monkey, where a lot of people think your whole goal is to try to quiet the monkey. But when you really study with those monks, they'll tell you it's not necessarily quieting it. It's actually learning to dance with it and to allow it to speak and allow it to sing. And remember, when people get distracted in the movies, they got the monkey clashing the cymbals. Okay, you're supposed to learn what that monkey is saying. You're not really trying to silence it. You're trying to open up that side lens, okay, which I put in my book, Rehab. You open up that side lens. Side is your mind, and the lens is your eye. So you open up that mind's eye, and you're being silent, but you're listening to all the. If you really think you've ever been silent, you've been fooled. You understand? You think that you're not speaking as you being silent, but every time you have a thought, there's an audio verbal hallucination that takes place, whether you refer to it as an inner voice or whatever it is. And all they're saying by quiet your mind is being able to identify those sounds, compartmentalize those sounds. So my point is, the monkey that came with Aladdin or Aladdin grabbed one of the treasures. It was a ruby, red. okay, in the middle of the desert. And when he grabbed that treasure, it calls for the Cave of Wonders to collapse. Now, why is this important? Because wonders brings you to literally the land of Nod, okay, like Alice in Wonderland. Nord, all right, means to wonder. If you flip the word demon around or daemon around, you get a word nomad. And if you go look up what a nomad is, it's a wanderer. Stay with me. All right. In the middle of the desert, they place this cave of wonders. And this monkey grabs this red treasure. Why am I saying that? Because when you say Desher, all right, Deshir, you're saying the ancient Egyptian word for red. Okay. And this was the color that was used to literally represent the lower plains, okay, or the lower lands. Go research what I'm telling you. All right. And in the desert, they were saying this is a barren world. This is not where God or the Neteru actually are. You understand? This is, if anything, the abode of Iblis and the rest of these fallen ones, okay, who capture people as soon as they think they're going to get a certain piece of information. They capture people and they trap them using what? The desires, which is still the same tone phonetically. Deshir, desire, desir, desert, deserted, abandoned. You understand? When you abandon your what? Ella Deen, okay, your way of life that tied you to Allah. Are you with me? And they literally were saying, don't be tempted. Why is this important? Because they had this being called Jesus go into the wilderness, all right, to be tempted by this being called the devil, Shaitan. You understand? And this being was able to offer him all of these things, all of these pieces, these kingdoms of this world. Say, all you have to do is bow down to me. Put your crown to the ground for me. You understand? So this is where you get into that split, literally the split of, are we saying a spirit is evil? Or are we saying a spirit is good? We're not saying a spirit is evil or good. What we're saying is you human beings have to know who and what you're dealing with at what time. You understand? Do you think that the devil can't bring you right knowledge? It's the same thing when I spoke about this differentiation between Lucifer and Jesus, where people say Lucifer and Jesus are the same. They're not the same. It's just that they're both light bearers. They both carry the true light. And in that story, where you find in Luke chapter 4, in that exact story, what was taking place? The Luciferian or the Lucifer or Shaitan or Iblis was quoting scripture indirectly, which means that he was familiar with the Torah, but he had to be familiar with the Torah because that same old serpent or Nakash or that sneaky or sly person appears in the book of Genesis, all right, and was able to tell them, hey, even God knows when you eat of this, all right, double-pillared tree, this Tob, which is the good, Ra, Torah, which is Ra, evil, okay, your eyes will be open. He knew what God knew. And in order for him to know what God knew, he had to have the access to the light that God had access to. Are you with me? So being that this monkey, okay, wasn't able to contain itself and was tempted to grab this ruby, the cave started to collapse in on itself. And Aladdin had to escape. And the whole movie is speaking about once you start accessing a certain type of magic, which is a science. Remember, magic is literally science that you didn't know was a science. Okay, and you have people like Tahuti or Thoth in the Emerald Tablets quoting it as magic science. Okay, a compound saying that this is something that is beyond what you think you know. And remember, science is to say, literally, I know a thing. Okay, but you can know something, but are you wise with it? Because that's where you get into the Magi. Remember, the Magi were the wise ones. Okay, so if you're wise with your science, then you have a whole different tool with you. You understand? And a whole different walk that you can encounter or embark upon, or a whole different journey. You understand? So this being, Jafar, knew what the lamp was, but he didn't have it in his ability to access it. So he was trying to use other people to go through and potentially be trapped by that same lust or by that same desire, to potentially be trapped in whatever that world was. He would use them, and he was waiting on whoever this Aladdin person was to bring him out this lamp. This is important because when they would rub the lamp, the genie would appear, okay? And this genie was able to do exactly what the devil or Shaitan said he was able to do in that story. He was able to grant all of their wishes, all of their desires, okay? So how do these demons speak? They speak to your desires. They speak to what you want. Remember what they gave you as a protection, a prayer or affirmation that you would say over yourself, especially if you started off as Christian. What was it? The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. You understand? And this is how they get you, meaning they as in parasites, they as in evil people, they as in record labels, They as in women, they as in men, they go based off of what you desire. And if you're not able to control your desire, okay, if you're not able to control your lust for power or your lust for pleasure, like the Buddhists teach, then you're going to suffer. You understand? So when this person called Jesus was in the wilderness, he was already filled up. If you go and read it, they start out by explaining to you that he was filled up with the Holy Spirit. And he was being tempted and tested, but he didn't suffer. He didn't suffer because he didn't feed into his temptations. And he had no wants in that moment. And he had already started to separate himself from the most simple desires, which is food and water and all those other things that human beings literally desire out of their own primitive nature to survive. You understand? So in that moment, in those moments, so that 40-day span, he was closer to the Most High. Are you with me? So people who are experiencing sleep paralysis where you encounter demons or nightmares, okay, if you study honorology, the different types of beings that have been given different types of names, all right, that rule over the sleep state. If you've encountered only dark beings, then that says something about not only the state of your plane or your being or your body, your own temple, but it says something about the state of your plane as in the realm that you exist in, which is why they push so hard recently to make sure that especially the youth were operating on the ungodly hour that we spoke about, which is called the demon time. They wanted everybody to be leaning on a very specific time, which was the demon time. Now, is that important? Yes, it is, because you had another story that was referred to as the demoniac. Okay? Now, what is that demoniac saying? When you say demoniac, you're saying somebody, if you can keep it short, you say demonic. But demoniac is saying literally somebody is possessed by demons. And that story comes where somebody was saying that, it was two people actually, or two beings that came out and they were possessed. They said they came out of the tombs and they were possessed by whoever and whatever these demons were. All right. And they said they were actually not just possessed, they were fierce. They were on demon time. Stay with me. And this being who had the same authority and the same power that people fear in certain ones of us today, all right, had the ability to grab the pen and write a certain thing, a certain way, author, okay, or had the ability to grab the sword like King Arthur. Are you with me? They noticed and recognized who this being was immediately. And they said, what will we have to do with you? You understand? Why do you come to us? You understand? Have you come to torment us before our time? Before our what? Our time. Now, they want you on demon time, but do you understand why? They want you on demon time because it's the same group of beings, the same group of people, the same Panians, the same Satanites, the same Iblisites, the same elite or Elites who followed that particular El, which was Molech and Baal and the rest of these fallen ones. It's the same ones who said in El Quran that they were going to cause you to fall. They said they're going to make sure that all of the people of this planet follow after them. Iblis was known to be a jinn. Okay, and you think it only to mean his state of his molecular structure if you're coming from that religious standpoint or that orientation. I hope you understand that when you're saying molecular structure being fire as opposed to clay, you're speaking about somebody who has way more information than you do, meaning he is at an ascended state and you as man or Adama coming out of the Adama, which is the ground, were at a slower state or a solid state. That's why they said, why won't you prostrate before Adama? Why won't you bow down? He said, I am made of fire. He is made of clay. Why would I bow? Why would I go back to a third grader and ask them to teach me anything? You understand? And Allah was challenging him and saying, can you name these animals? You understand? And even the angels had challenges. They were saying, what? Are you going to create another race of beings who's going to cause bloodshed and corruption in the world, in the earth, or in the universe? All right. And what did Allah say? He said, I know, Alim. I know, I'm knowing of that which you don't know. Are you with me? So we're speaking about knowledge is my point there. All right. So you have this being Iblis and the ones who came with him, like we spoke about the 200 fallen angels in the Drake Exposed teaching. You have this being who came with all these other messengers or angels, okay, who decided that because they were cast out of the heavenly planes, okay, and there was a certain time where Allah said, you have to get out. He said, get down from it because you are of the lowly. You are of the lower beings, not up here with us. Now you have to go down into the earth planes, okay? And Iblis dreaded being sent down into the pit. And he said, wait, give me a time period. Give me a set time before I have to be cast into that actual prison. A lot of people think Iblis is already locked up. He's not. He's roaming the earth and the heavens freely. You understand? Just not in certain parts of the heavens, which is certain galaxies, a whole different conversation. Right? He said, give me a set amount of time. And if you don't understand that, then how could there be a war in the heavens if Iblis was bound to earth? You understand? That hasn't come yet. Okay? He said, give me a set amount of time before you cause me to be cast into the pit indefinitely. And with that time period, I'm going to prove to you, because you caused me to walk in error, I'm going to prove to you that this creation of yours is not worthy of ascension, that they're nothing but clay, which is just another Sufi cosmology play on words of the Nesut plane. They're nothing but Nesetians, okay? And that they don't even understand what the Nesut or the Nesuf, which is a self, is. You understand? So he challenged it, and Allah agreed with him and made a deal with him and said, fine, you are of the ones who's given a set time. All right, I'm going to give you a set time. And if any of my people follow you, they were never my people to begin with. Okay, so that's your story of the Jinn. So if you're ever speaking about Jinn and you're saying Islam is false, then you need to rethink your vocabulary, because you're using a word that comes from Islam. And if you're speaking about demons and you're saying Christianity is false, then you need to rethink your vocabulary, because you're speaking from the Christian books. You understand? You can go into a whole different groups. There's all deities and daemons and the rest of these beings, whatever you want to call them, but they're saying that they're actually real people. And to limit them to being aspects of the self erases the whole history, all right? Not only the history alone, but also the actual encounters of the people who still want to know what it is that they're encountering, who it is that they're encountering, and how can they prevent it. Because if these beings were somebody to befriend, people wouldn't want to get away from them when they're in their presence. You understand? If these beings were people to befriend, they wouldn't be attacking people. Are you with me? And harming them. So this demon time is what is the induction of not only these people who came before us, but the youth and the youth that are coming after us, to get them inducted into the order of Shaitan. That's the whole purpose. What is Shaitan's order? That's what drill music was about. Drill music was all about destruction. Drill music was all about desher. Okay, when you go and find it, it was tied to destruction. Drill music is all about murder. Okay, we say, you are of your father the devil. The lust of your father you will do. Lust, keyword. Of your father you will do. He's a murderer because he's been a murderer from the beginning of time. Okay, murder music. This is a way to pull people into the tones and frequencies, all right, that rock with the rest of these beings who say, yes, cause these people to destroy themselves. They're not even worthy of becoming gods. Are you with me? That's when you get into a key factor here, where you speak about different types of wands, like I spoke to you about different types of bringers of that wand or wonder, okay, which is El-Qadir or El-Qadir with the green light, and then you have Moses with the red light, where I told you about the book Where the Two Seas Meet. If you haven't looked into that yet, you need to, okay? Very important that they carried a staff or a magic wand, and they told Moses, take this staff, and with this staff you will work many wonders, all right? I hope you stand with me, because you have Iblis, and if you say it a certain way, you say Iblis, okay? And if you're saying the Iblis is what you see in Washington, D.C., okay? That which is referred to as one of your monuments, okay? And if you look at the word mon, you'll see moon. Stay with me, because that's speaking about a certain period of time. Your Iblis at a point was referred to as a sundial, okay? A way to tell time, okay? But Iblis has been given a set time. Stay with me. Iblis has been given a set time. And if you see an Iblis standing up erect, you're also observing a penis. You're also observing the spine. You're also observing a magic wand. You're observing a pool, a pole. And you're also observing a pylon. Okay? And the word pylon brings you to a word gate. All right? So the whole purpose of these people putting you on demon time was to trap you in the gate or the window of what was referred to as Babylon. And Babylon, again, is Bab's pylon. Bab is set, if you don't know. Are you with me? What you got from me, young elder? We just getting started.
Hey, man, you cracking heads and twisted caps. So, okay, all right, because Bob broke a little bit of this down. Now, sometimes when I'm fasting and I'm just chilling, and it's real cold in the room, and I got the lights, like the green lights, I can see them. At the corner of my eye, I see stuff moving, right? And I'm like, damn, what the hell was that? Now, there are beings passing through different dimensions that in your, because we got this magnetic force field around us, right? And if these beings cross that line, you can see them. If they cross in that field, you can see them, right? But some of them just be passing through. They don't be paying you no attention. Now, these beings are they vibrating in a higher dimension. Now, how would we begin to? I know fear plays a part in that. How would we begin to distinguish the difference between the good and bad ones? Like, okay, so like the bad ones, like I guess they'll be demons, right? So how would we distinguish the good beings that's moving? Because it's good ones here too, and then it's bad ones. Now, like you said, that the bad ones, they sometimes attack people, and they do different shit to people, molest them, whatever the case may be. So how do we tell the good ones and bring more good ones in and start to get rid of the bad ones or run the bad ones off? Go ahead.
The key thing that you brought up is the actions, what they do. What is it that these beings do? And not only what is it that these beings do, what is it that these beings cause people to do? You understand? If a being is telling you to grab a gun, load it up, and go and kill somebody, then that demon, first of all, we need to stop trying to play this whole word game of saying that a daemon is somebody people need to listen to, when the whole tone and frequency that's been associated with a demon is a wicked being. So when you throw a confusing wrench in there, people start thinking they really should start fucking with demons. You get what I'm saying? So I'm cool with my demons. What do you mean by that? You don't know what you're really speaking about, because these beings don't give a fuck about you. Are you with me? You here today, you going tomorrow, and they don't need you anymore. So it's the way that you do it is you look at what they're doing, and that way you don't over spiritualize this conversation, because you got people in your life that will do demonic things to you. You understand? Somebody's stealing from you. Every time you turn around, so your shit is missing. If somebody could constantly stealing from you, then that's demonic, because that is what is referred to as your possession. All right? And it's very important that you remember the word possess, because that's what people say. When you get a spirit, you can be possessed. Or if a demon enters into the body of a person, they're possessed. You understand? Now, you still can look at these key words and say, well, you have to know that you're still dealing with forces that mankind may not understand fully, because if somebody catches the Holy Spirit, are they possessed? They don't want to say that. No, they're not possessed. No, in all actuality, they are possessed. But you have to know, what are they possessed with? They're possessed with what is referred to as a Holy Spirit. And then you have to go into the conversation, well, what is the Holy Spirit? What is it causing them to do? So if this Holy Spirit gets in somebody and causes them to become violent, then that is not a Holy Spirit. You understand? If it gets into you and it causes you to rise up out your seat and do the Harlem Shake and fall all over the ground and get the foaming at the mouth, that's not a Holy Spirit. It's not. The Holy Spirit will convict a person. The Holy Spirit is going to bring something forth to you to say, you know what? I'm going to get this done today. It'll motivate you. It'll uplift you. You're not going to lose control of your body and fall out. But you want to know what? If you observe the people in the Pentecostal churches, keyword penta, because you got a penta right there that's associated with the ground, pentagram. If you observe the people like in these Pentecostal churches, the people that claim that they get in the Holy Spirit, you know what I'm saying? They get slapped all around, they falling out. And if you was a child in there, you wouldn't know what was going on. You would be scared. Why? Why didn't you observe Jesus get the Holy Spirit in the River Jordan and fall all out the mouth and slap John? And why none of that happen? You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with different spirits, but nobody want to talk about that. Here go the bottom line. If these beings can cause you to become violent, all right, then you're possessed by a demonic spirit. You understand? So when you look at certain movies, like it was the movie, what was it, Constantine, where they had a being that was literally possessing a woman or girl, and they had to use a mirror to bring them out of it. You understand? That's a whole different conversation than you feel willing to do a thing. So the key thing is to stop with the confusion of saying all of these are demons. Stop with the confusion of throwing out the demon word like people should gravitate toward these beings. No, you should be able to identify. And if you don't want to use the demon word, give it a word, give it a name, give it a frequency that's saying these are wicked beings that cause people to lose control over themselves. You understand? And that in itself does not complete a person, which is where you say holy, you're saying whole. And when you're saying whole, you're saying complete or total or told us, right? When you say what? Complete for us, our light. You know what I'm saying? You are competent over all things. They're saying raise us up out of the darkness into the light. Okay, so that we can become like that light bulb when that filament is sped up. Okay, and now we can glow and give off this radiance. That's what you're asking for. That's what the Holy Spirit is supposed to do for you. And it charges your willpower, which I gave you the key word there is Mashiach in Arabic. Okay, if it charges your willpower, then you become more like the Messiah yourself. And now you can go around and cast out demons. And them demons will see you coming and be like, yo, what you doing? What do we have to do with you? You know what I'm saying? Are you here to torment us before our time? Are you with me? So these beings know that when you're walking in a certain light, that you're an issue for them. So if a light worker is an issue for a demon, people should not befriend these beings. And one way to answer your question, the key way, is to look at what they do and what they cause you to do. You understand? If they cause you to become violent without cause, are you with me? Meaning not how Michael became violent when he had to fight the dragon. You understand? Or not how Elijah became violent when he had to defend himself. Are you with me? If these beings cause you to be violent without cause and just go flying off at the handle, that is a demonic being who's only trying to use whatever yield, traumatic energy, whatever, because we go into the Monster Inc. movie we spoke about and all of that. They're only trying to use you at that time to source you. That makes sense?
Man, that makes a lot of sense. And that brings up another question because my mind, I got to start writing down these questions that you be talking. All right, so back in the day, you know, like back in the day, we used to be hard and carry guns and all that. But I noticed when the older people that was Christian, like my grandma and them, and even if it wasn't my grandma, some older lady that we respected, it's like the energy cut off. Like we didn't want to. We wanted to hide the guns. We didn't want to smoke. We didn't want to do nothing when these beings came around. Yep. So it's like they cut off the demonic energies, and then but now that's not happening no more. Most of those people that was most of the time when it was like that, those people have faded out. Like now they don't got respect for the elders no more like you do. So what is that with the demons back in the day, or was they demons or not? These beings that when the older Christian, your grandma, the older lady that had respect, the older lady in the neighborhood, the energy field changed when they came around, and they chilled, they was cool. Like in some areas, nobody got smoked on Sunday. It was like a rule. Nobody got smoked on Sunday, like a day at church day, or a day that your grandma was, So what happened, man? What made the switch? Did more demons come in and alter that, or what happened with that level of respect? Even the demons had respected. Maybe it was the old devil, and then it's a new devil, right? Maybe you could go into that, the old devil, the new devil. These old demons and new demons. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
People were attracted to the Cave of Wonders. People were attracted to Babylon, and they did not want to honor Aladdin or Aladdin. Okay? They didn't want to honor the way of life that was given to them. Remember, everybody wanted to reject it and go against it, but they didn't have anything to replace it. So the elders, if you had a grandmother, all she had to say is some shit was going on. She didn't even have to finish the sentence. She just say, in the name of Jesus. The shit was over. You waiting on you like dot. You like, go on. And she like, that's it. Nigga, that's in the name of Jesus. You know, so the blood. It's like the blood, but the way she said it is like you had to feel it. It's people that's not even Christian right now that just felt it, and all I was doing was just saying it. You know what I'm saying? The blood in the name of Jesus. And it's a way that they were saying, like, you can't do anything but admit that that was conviction. Admit that that was authority. These motherfuckers in the conscious community, all the people around now, these daily Christians now that don't even know what's going on, they become so absorbed in the world, they don't have command anymore. They don't have authority. If you right there up under the demoniac, how the fuck you gonna cast the demoniac out? You understand? If you right up there under the demons in their world, doing the things that they do, how the fuck you finna rectify? You feel what I'm saying? If you're doing the same deeds that they're doing, if you carrying out the same works that they're carrying out, Are you with me? So they came with a command and authority. So you ask the question, what happened? People turned away from their religion with nothing to replace it with. And for the ones who were left, who stood on that principle, keyword, which is a hierarchy, a higher degree, the ones who stood on that principle, stood with that command and that authority, the people did the exact same thing that the people in the story of the demoniac did to Jesus. They saw what he was able to do. They saw he was able to cast out demons. They bore witness to it, but they asked him to leave. They told him to leave their town because they were afraid of somebody with that amount of command and authority. Are you with me? So what do you think is easier to do? Because remember, this goes back into Iblis again, and they gained. They said they're going to make evil fair seeming. They're going to be making it be that disobedience would be attractive to people. It'll be easier for people to flock toward. So what's easier? Listen to grandmama or go against grandmama? Because grandmama said, get up at 5 a.m. and you go into church. It bred a certain discipline in you. You may not have understood it, but yeah, get up at 5 a.m. Now everybody telling us, make sure you get up at 5 a.m. Grandmama was teaching us that. You understand? She was saying, stay awake when the message of the Most High is coming through. Let nobody confuse you. If you go to a church, you're going to get a message, especially a melanin dominant people church. That ain't because I'm biased. That's just what it is. You don't have to be Christian. If you really know how to read your realm, you walk into church, you're going to get a message. You're going to feel like this motherfucker is talking directly to me. Because that spirit or that information still has to move through when all of you gather together. And just because you set the intention of becoming righteous, then there's some type of righteousness present, which means that that pastor, even if he's trying to be a deceiver for the money, okay, the words that he's saying, he knows he has to connect to certain points or chakras or alignments in you, all right, in order to get you to give him some money. He knows that. So he's going to scream, he's going to do whatever, and he's going to still put out truth in the midst of all that confusion. And that message will be able to be heard. You understand? So you cannot deny the spirit when it exists, except people turned away from it because it was too much discipline. It required too much discipline. You understand? It was a little too much that said you got to cover your body up when you go out, especially in today's 2023. Women ain't trying to hear that. You understand? Yet it protected your daughters. It protected your wives. It protected your mothers. To a certain degree, of course, but it still was more protection, all right? Less wandering eyes, less people preying on them, because y'all know what we're dealing with in these communities. You understand? There was a certain amount of respect. So you speak about this, you say respect. When a Muslim sister walks in the room, she has to be given a certain type of respect. She just has to. You want to know the person who's least likely to get robbed in the hood? The nigga wearing a thobe. You don't know what it is. But the niggas in the hood, they don't respect the NOI like they respect the actual Muslims, meaning the ones who actually do what mainstream Islam has said they're supposed to do as Muslims, not as people who trying to get along with Deshers or the devil's world. You understand? The niggas in the hood where I'm from, they might see the NOI. They don't give a fuck what these folk got really going on because all they think is that they making money off of us. But let somebody walk through in a thobe and say salam, okay? Or assalamu alaikum. All right, they're going to try to respond. Wa alaikum salam. They're going to try to respond. They're going to get respect. It could be the most gangster killer nigga. That's why all of these niggas who grew up gangster is now starting to turn their life back to God, and they going to Allah because they don't feel that Christian shit is strong enough for them. They're warriors. You feel what I'm saying? And the Christians is too busy trying to bow out and be up under Mammon's world. And this is why we say you cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve God and Mammon. All right, that's Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. They say what? If you serve Mammon and God or try to, they say you cannot. That you will love one and hate the other. You understand? You're going to ultimately end up gravitating toward one and you're going to hate the other. You're going to despise the other. So we started to hate our elders. You understand? Because we wanted money. That's what Mammon means. The love of money. We started to hate our elders. We started to go against the ones. So our parents did this. Our parents said, I ain't like the fact that I had to get up and go to church. I wanted to be free. So I'm not going to make my children go to church. Okay, your children didn't go to church. Your children is the ones out here thugging on the streets. You feel what I'm saying? Your parents say, yo, I don't like them. I couldn't cuss growing up. I'm going to let my children cuss. Now they disrespecting you. You can't even do nothing with them. Because you allowed them to be vain way before they had the real choice or opportunity to decide it for themselves. That was the walk they were going to take. All right? So the point is, family, we had what we needed. We just had to listen to one of the orders. It could have been Islam. It could have been Christianity. It could have been whatever. All we had to do was listen, but everybody wanted to go against it. So now we're looking at, all right, we're taking spirituality as a religion. Well, y'all still don't have it together. You still have the same issues that you have in Babylon happen in the spirituality or the conscious community. And that's not to say that religion doesn't have the same things happening. It's just that it's less of it because of the fact that they make sure that at least the children, for one, are keeping to a certain type of deen or way of life. Okay, creed, principle, call it what you want. They will still keep into it. So now what do we have? We got everybody saying, do what thou wilt. That will be the whole of the law. And do away with all of the rest of the things that was. So that means that we're not honoring our mother and our father. And we're trying to figure out why our life is being shortened. Well, they explained that if you honor Exodus 20:12, if you were to honor your mother and your father, your life will be extended in the land that you've been given by the Lord. Did any of these leaders in the conscious community, any of these pastors and imams give us this land? Did they give us the air or the oxygen? Did they give us the stars? Did they give us the sun? No. You understand? So you have to leave space for that which is beyond you. Remember the Roots movie. Behold, the only thing greater than yourself. You got to leave space for that. But because we didn't want to leave space for it, we want to do our own thing. Now that's why we don't have it anymore, that the elders can walk in and we respect them, because we become so disrespectful. Remember, to respect something is to be able to look at something one thing and look at one time and look at it again. You look at something once and you see it for what it is, but you look at it again and you'll catch something different. Because you may not have understood why you had to say yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Okay? But they were doing their best to teach you about authority. It's not that they wanted you to be subservient or be up under some people. You understand? It's just that if you didn't learn how to respect the authority in the household, you went out here and thought that you could disrespect these police officers and lost your life. You thought you could handle them how you handle mama them, and they gonna put you on your forehead. You feel what I'm saying? So they were doing their best to cause for at least one of these generations of people to get it together. And because we didn't want to listen, we didn't have the will to listen, then we fell victim to the temptation. And that's where they introduce they got 7 people that's rocking. They got 7 of what you call demons. All right, well, you got Lucifer, you got Leviathan, you got Asmodeus or Asmodeus. Okay, asthma is to say wrath, or, you know what I'm saying, something that is furious. Okay, or revenge of a sort. Okay, or damage of a sort. And then the deva is just to say the same thing as demon or dio or God. Okay, and you got the Beelzebub, you got Mammon, you got Shaitan, and you also got Belphegor, which Belphegor, look at the word Bel, it's Baal, okay, and Phegor is to say a figure, and Belphegor is one of the ones who caused people literally, he's the Lord of figuring shit out, if you go look it up. He was the one who caused for people to be able to invent shit and make discoveries and have those eureka moments. So these beings were all, the 7 of them were associated with what is referred to as the 7 deadlies, okay? Or you can call them the 7 lowlies, because we're speaking about Iblis and the gang, okay? Who you calling demons now. And these 7 deadlies, the pride, you had the envy, you had the gluttony, you had the greed, you had the sloth, you had the wrath, you had the lust, all these different, that's what's taking this community over. So if people don't want to turn away from it, then, you know, it's like the elder could walk in all they want to, but we're not going to respect them because we want to do our thing. And we don't want to do the thing that was set up for us to be able to do well. You with me?
Hey, that takes me to another question. Mm-hmm. In the Bible, Jesus, sometimes he didn't want to cast demons off people, because he said that if I cast this one demon off of you, it'll bring 7 more. That demon will wander to the wilderness, and then it'll find it wouldn't find a place. Then it would come back to that same place and bring more demons to and house that car. Could you go in a little bit on that about when you get rid of the one spirit or one addiction or whatever it may be? Yeah. And then could you go on that part? Okay, all right.
That's a real good question. So in my book Rehab, I spoke of this. I said, when you start to deny these beings access to your will, WHEEL, WILL, when you start denying them access to that, they're going to want to fight. They're going to want to tug. They're going to want to push. I said in the book, it's going to seem like they're screaming from the very depths of your consciousness, saying, feed me. Who do you think you are? Who is this nigga you listening to? Phase One that told you to do 90 days retention. Why do you listen to him? Who is he? He's just a man like you. Why do you trust him? You know what I'm saying? Why are you denying yourself pleasure just for another man? You know what I'm saying? That's how they fight. And not only do they fight, they become vicious. They haunt you in your dreams. But they don't have but a set time after that because you're not feeding them. You understand? So I told people certain things to remember. One, they can't really do shit to you. Remember, they only are allowed, like remember the saying was saying, Dracula has to be let in your home. He can stand there knocking all you want to, and some of y'all have encountered this, where you hear this outside, and then you go to the door, you say, who is it? You don't hear anything. You open the door, right? You ever seen the movie Hollow Man? They were telling you something, because that was the same exact scene. Knock on the door, open the door, nobody's there. Somebody was there, but it was a hollow man. And a hollow ain't nothing but just say a holla or an aura being or a disembodied being, or a hollow is a spirit. You get what I'm saying? So these beings want to fight to survive just how you want to fight to survive. You get what I'm saying? You listen, it's like this. Keep it simple. Some niggas selling something on your block, making money on your block. You come run a nigga off your block. He coming back with more niggas. He feel like you showed him up. He said, all right, stay right there. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he said. You better be prepared to really war. Anybody that got a purse, this is what they literally was saying. Jesus was telling them, yo, if anybody got a purse or a bag for a garment, whatever, sell it and go buy a sword. Nigga, this is war. You feel what I'm saying? And even at that point in time, you have to still take into consideration there are some beings or demons that human beings cannot fight by themselves. You feel what I'm saying? That's why they say, yo, let the Lord fight your battles. They were trying to tell you something. They were trying to tell you something. Remember when you used to go get your big brother? You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go get my big brother. Sometimes you get your big brother wasn't big enough. Now your big brother mad at you. You know what I'm saying? Some things you're not supposed to be putting your hands on. You open up these doors, you're using these Ouija boards, whatever the fuck, and you don't let things in that you can't do anything with. So then you got to call people like myself. You know what I'm saying? We handling this over now. You want us to go get it? We can do it, but even Pops was saying sometimes, he said, I'm the type of person, you call me and the demon's bigger than me, I'm leaving. You know? So the point is, people are spiritualizing it too much. These beings want to survive. They're actual living beings that want to survive. And if you're at home and somebody is coming and trying to get you about it, they're going to fight. They're going to fight. Are you with me? So that's the key thing. That's the answer. It happens like that.
Yeah. I know this dude that I used to work at the casino, man. He used to come to the boat all the time and gamble. And they said I used to hear when I was a Christian, my granddad is a preacher. He used to say that the gambling spirit is the worst spirit, right? It's the worst spirit to have because it leads to drinking, it leads to other spirits. It's a side to that. People drink, but when they say, what do they mean when they say, okay, like say you're an alcoholic, that's a spirit. Like I drink wine, but I don't drink to get fucked up, you know. I just drink just to sip it, you know. But like some people drink to get messed, like to get every day they gotta be drunk. They gotta not be just go to sleep, drink, wake up, drink. Is that what kind of spirit is that? Is that a type of demon or something like that? Different from just somebody regularly drinking like a cup of wine a day or whatever, like that, like a wino versus an alcoholic or whatever, like that type of spirit. Is that a certain type of spirit? Go ahead.
Righteous. Firstly, that person is trying to do what most people are trying to do. Look at this word. Look at the word devil, D-E-V-I-L. Then look at the word device, D-E-V-I-C-E. All right. Look at the word deviate, D-E-V-I. Are you with me? Most people are dealing with vices. Everybody is on some type of device right now, whether you're on I got an iMac right here, somebody's on an iPhone, somebody might be on a Windows, whatever, Android, bless you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own vices. So the alcoholic is trying to drown their sorrows. Do you know that when an ejaculation takes place, not only is there dopamine release, endorphins are also released. And endorphins literally can heal you. You understand? Or onset the healing process, expedite it. So if somebody feels that they're really going through pain and trouble, if their escape is an ejaculation, or their escape is alcohol to the head, or their escape is smoking some weed or a cigarette, whatever it is, that's because they're literally trying to paint an illusion around themselves that whatever is taking place isn't taking place, which is why you don't really know yourself until you're able to stand in that ring and challenge yourself at that point, because you're the one that has the power to continue to open up a door, you know what I'm saying, or close the door. But then you have different demons. So alcohol, all right, or alcohol, as people are trying to say, they only playing with the word, but you're not really paying attention to the fact that it's dealing with the response in the brain of the person, the dopamine releases in the person. People say, why you can't just stop? What do you mean why you can't just stop? Why you can't just stop scrolling on Instagram? Why you can't just stop smoking weed? Why you can't just stop having sex? Why you can't just stop eating food? Overeating, and why you gotta eat 3 times a day? Why not once? You know what I'm saying? Why you can't just stop? Because it's easy to look at somebody else and their vice and say, oh, they down bad. No, everybody on this planet has been faced with some type of vice in one way, shape, form, or fashion. And that vice is still bringing you back around to that key thing, your desires. You understand? So that spirit is the spirit of dread. That spirit is, from what I mean dread, but I mean dread as in they dread having to deal with whatever their real problems are. So they say, I drink not to think. I drink to forget. But in all actuality, as soon as they get to drinking, what they gonna do? They gonna think about all this shit. It still ain't work. They say, I'm drinking to forget. You've been drinking to forget for 7 years and you remember every time. You know what I'm saying? It's just an illusion, but it's that feeling of being able to let go because they haven't been taught how to let go through meditation and all these other things. You understand? That's why Malachi York has the relaxing with the Etherians tone that's out, relaxing with the ether, ETHERIANS, Etherians. Okay, when he speaks, he said, I just want to talk to you, humans. He said, you are your own worst enemy. He said, you wrap yourself in aggravation, stress. He started to break it down, say, you're doing this to you. You have to learn how to relax and let go. It's easier said than done, but because the alcoholic or whatever you want to call people who are going through it, it's like, it's really, it's kind of demeaning to just call them that because you were told to call them that. It's really just a person struggling with the response in their brain. You feel what I'm saying? It could have been you. If you were introduced to something or a certain type of experience, you don't know what people are going through, and they're trying to heal. But because they've been given all of these false therapeutic remedies and they've taken them on as their own, you know, this is the hell they trap themselves in. So ultimately, in their attempt to escape hell, they find themselves in another deeper hell. And that hell is harder to get out of. You understand? That's why I spoke in the rehab book saying this is about literally bringing your world out of being duped or out of being doped up, because everybody's doped up. So they're drinking. They might go to an AA meeting. You understand? They try to surround themselves with people who are also trying to fight their way out of it, to be motivated. Why is it motivational? Because that dopamine release is motivation. It's packaged and sold motivation when you hit the cigarette. It's packaged and sold motivation when you watch pornography. They know that it's a motivator. But what is motivating people to do is causing them to have a release. They release and then they crash. Because they don't tell you that afterwards. Literally, after you do the shit causes you to want to go to sleep and all this other stuff. And your brain says, yo, I have to reset so I don't do this too often. So you try to figure out why men who have to release the most when it comes to the orgasm, you try to figure out why men, after they orgasm, they stop. You know what I'm saying? They have to, they tired, they about to go to sleep. Their brain is doing that to protect them. Because if not, niggas will be doing like women. They'll have 17 in a row. And will kill their damn self. You know what I'm saying? So the brain is wired to protect human beings because they know that once you eat of the, are you with me? The fruit thereof, your eyes will be open. And now you know what orgasm is. It's like it's a whole hell down here. So my point is, the people who are struggling with that type of spirit are not just struggling with drinking. They're struggling with wanting to get out of whatever the hell is that they're surrounded by. And they would much rather create the illusion of being able to let go than to have to face whatever those situations are, whatever those difficulties are. They would rather do that. And I think it helps for people to be a little more empathetic and sympathetic, okay, when it comes to that, if you would look at yourself and realize that you have a vice yourself. If you have a habit of any kind, you should not be condemning anybody for their habits, because all of it is just dopamine releases, maybe different levels, because you got meth and all this other demonic ass shit they done put out here that really can kill a person, because it sends you into such an overdrive that when you crash, it's hard for you to return back to being a regular human being without having to rely on whichever devices they've given you or vices they've given you. You understand? So these are the blue pills that people are taking, where they want to stay in the matrix, even though they know the steak is fake. You know what I'm saying? How to eat this fake steak and have to deal with the fact that, you know, this shit is more healthy or whatever. You get the point.
Yeah, and now that brings my next question for you, Faise. Now, when I was coming up as a Christian and going to minister school, my granddaddy he said that the devil only got 3 tactics, and I believed him based on my research. He said that, and this goes back with Matthew chapter 4 verse 4. It goes my question when Jesus was tempted in the wilderness. We talked about that. He said the 3 tactics that he used was the pride of life, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eye. These are the tactics that these demons use. Like,
right.
Can you go in a little bit on that, on the pride of life, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eye, and just lust to it, and how they use it, to how these demons use men and women lustfully to get them together to bring them in, so that these demons have a way into this world. That people don't know that they make love. When you make love a certain type of way out of a certain type of vortex, it opens a vortex for these beings to be able to get here, and they actually influence these people to get together and get booty like they do. They both get drunk, be at the club, loud music, right? They both knocked out because they got knocked on top of the head at the club. Then they go home and they get booty and bring a demon, and then they wonder why their kid is bad. Could you go in on that? The pride of life, lust of the flesh, lust of the eye, and how demons get in through the lust of the flesh. Go ahead.
First, I want to say that's profound. Whoever told you that, that's really profound, because it brings you to the double L. The double L is Lucifer and Leviathan. Lucifer and Leviathan. Well, you have Lucifer, that's the prideful one. That's the nigga with all the pride. The pride of life is super profound, because that's one of the things I'm teaching people about without saying those words. Because if you're not already comfortable with the idea that you will transition one day, then you are also associated with those who are attached to that pride of life. You know what I'm saying? Because you can be, listen, I'm phase 1. Yeah, I'm only phase 1 until the last breath that I have. All of this, this whole being that I created, this character to do this job and whatever, this will fade one day. That's why I constantly remind people, I'm an event. You know what I'm saying? You look in the mirror and say, I like who I am. You really think that who you are is in the mirror? Listen, if you think who you are is in the mirror, then why don't you look the same exact way that you did when you were 5 years old looking in the mirror? You understand? If you think that who you are is in the mirror, then when you look in the mirror, go do it today. Look in the mirror, all right? Don't eat but one time every day for 3 weeks and then go back and look in the mirror. You're not going to be looking at the same person. Things are going to change. Get in the gym. Go look in the mirror, then get in the gym for 2 months, all right? And then go back and look in the mirror. That's not the same person. You feel what I'm saying? So people think that the illusion of life, which gives them that pride to say, I got all this money. Like all these other conscious community niggas say, we're gods because we making money. We're gods. The devil's been making money for thousands of years. What the fuck are you talking about? You're not gods because you're making money. They talk down on the pride. Listen, these people be sounding silly to me. They talk down on the person who's a homeless man saying he's not a God, he's not creating anything. What if that's not his fucking purpose? You get what I'm saying? He might have the one key gem, though, that if you would listen to him instead of saying he's not a God, he ain't created, he might have that one key gem. Listen to what I'm saying. That could change his whole planet. And you could have been the one motherfucker who could have brought that gem to all your peoples. Because you think everybody wants to be Sammy Davis Jr. just in a new outfit, you understand? You would close your ear to whoever that person was. Are you with me? So the illusion of life says, I'm rich. The illusion of life says, I got all these followers. Whoa! The illusion of life said, whoa, look at my car. You mean that box on wheels? Yeah, but look at it. What does it do? It gets me from one location to the next. This one right here does the same thing. But that's not attractive. Why does it have to be attractive to get you from one place to the next? I thought you tell me what it does. I thought it was transportation. Yeah. Okay, how many miles does it say that we can go on the highway? About 75, 80 miles? Okay, you can go 75, 80 miles. Guess what this car can go? 75, 80 miles. It's like your shit is allowed to go faster because it looks better. So it ain't even about the fact that you want to be able to convene or commute at a faster pace. So what is it? Why is your car special? Because it looks as illusion. Because you telling me how the light is reflecting off of the shit, not what it fucking does. You tell me what the light is reflecting off of is better? Because it's still going to get you there. You got to go to the grocery store, all right? You need food. You got to eat. Okay, cool. You get in that car to go. This person gets on a MARTA bus to go. What's the difference? They still able to go and get there. You know what I'm saying? And come back. My point is the illusion says, I'm special because look at my chain. Or look at my watch. What do you mean your? Yeah, it's mine. But if they snatch it and run off with it, what is it? It's still mine, but they have it now. Let me wrap your mind around some shit. Let me tell y'all something. I hope y'all hear what I'm about to say. Money ain't real. It's not even fucking real. Let me show you how money ain't real. Somebody say, I'm a multimillionaire. I say, I am too. They say, show me. I say, I don't have it right now. They say, well, then you're not a multimillionaire. I say, show me. They say, what do you mean show you? You told me to show you, so I'm asking you to show me. They do this. They pull up their phone, and they pull up some numbers. You know what I'm saying? I say, that ain't nothing but some numbers. Where the money? Oh, you want me to go to the bank and get the money? Yeah. They go to the bank and get the money. I said, nigga, I told you I'm a millionaire too. They come back, I got millions. They say, where you get that money from? I told you I was a millionaire, but you didn't have it to show for it. Yes, I did. What'd you go do? I went and got it from the bank. Okay, you went and got the money from the bank, right? Yes. They said, what did you do? I went and got it from the bank. Well, I thought you didn't have a bank account. I don't. But I robbed the bank. So now guess what? I'm a millionaire. And I always had the fucking money. I just didn't have it right here to show you. So now look, I'm a millionaire, you're a millionaire. We should be able to hang out, right? My point is, when you're saying you have money, what you're really saying is you have the ability to touch money without somebody trying to lock you in a cage. That's all you're saying. That you have the ability to go to somebody and say, hey, can I withdraw? What the fuck you mean? Why are you asking them if you could take your, you should be able to walk in there and get your shit and walk out. You say, can I take up this? And then you ask them, can I take out 100,000? They say, you can take out 50K today. What you mean? Yeah, it's, something's going on. It's, the banks, we trade your money and shit like that. We don't tell you that. So you really can't take this, but you can take 50,000 out. It's my money. I need it now. That's a commercial. It's not a thing, bro. You can't really do that. You have to take out 50K. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying this. I thought you said you was a millionaire. They won't let me take out the 50K. Then you're not a millionaire. Everybody get on the fucking ground. I'm a millionaire. I can take out more than 50K. Are you with me? It's a fucking illusion that people really give a fuck. It's something that really just defeats my whole concept of what life is. The way people perform and act and carry out their whole life over some shit that don't even make sense when you really think about it. Like if you ran into Jay-Z, niggas fall to their knees. They say, would you take 500,000 to dinner with Jay-Z? Remember Charles was like, fuck Jay-Z, give me 500,000. You know what I'm saying? You fall to your knees, you see Jay-Z. This nigga, he looked the same way you do. He's a person like you are. He got arm, leg, arm, hair like you do. He sleep like you do. He got to eat like you do. He go to the bathroom like you do. You know what I'm saying? He had dreams and aspirations like you got dreams and aspirations. He might have done certain things, but like that nigga is Jay-Z, how you are, whoever. Your name Tommy, his name Jay-Z. Both of y'all is human beings. But for some reason, this illusion of life, that's what I'm saying, the pride of life is an illusion. Because this doesn't last. You know what I'm saying? This is what we call, you know, there's nothing more humbling and more beautiful than the fact that the person say, I got a nice body. Look at my physique. Look at all my cosmetics. Look at my makeup and look at my muscles. And look, one day you die, right? They put you in this box and these little bitty motherfuckers, these little maggots come and just eat all that shit away. They eat everything you thought you were up. Some people think about, I resent that day. They resent that day. It's still coming. That the only thing that's going to be left of you is the bones of the foundation that held at one point in time this poster that said, whoever the fuck this nigga is. You with me? So the pride of life, once you let it go, you say, well, one day I'm going to be gone. So it becomes more about your servitude than what the fuck you look like and who you are to the shit. Listen, I still haven't even gotten into all that shit. Like, I can't, because in all actuality, people get weird about it. You know what I'm saying? They see you as a little following. You know, I'm not going to say little following to play it down. I'm saying a little following as in people might get 10,000 followers and switch up on their whole family group. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Something happens to their pay, they come back to their family. Where's you? Look, tax season is around the corner. You know what I'm saying? You about to, somebody watching this is about to lose their friend. Y'all been friends for years, but tax season finna come. They finna turn up on you. They finna boss up on everybody. They finna throw shots and all kind of stuff until the shit run out. And then they're gonna be back trying to figure out what they finna do. It's an illusion. Who are you without this so-called money being attached to you? And the only way you could ever have money is what's in your hand. And even then, it's not a part of your body. So the moment you're not touching money, you're not a fucking millionaire. You're not a billionaire. You're not 100,000 and none of that. It's all in your brain. You feel what I'm saying? The only money you have is the money. Look, right now, I have a water bottle. I have it. It's right here. You feel what I'm saying? I can say, I got $100,000. You should be like, show me. And if I can't show you, right, I don't have it. To have it is simple shit, my. So my point is, the pride of life, when people finally let that go, they'll be able to serve more. They'll be able to, like, you ain't going to try to hold on to shit that don't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? You're going to know that the only currency that exists in your plane is you. The only, you talking about the gold standard, the Great Depression was, them folks was getting sad because more Moors and people were waking up finding out that this shit is fake. So they were depressed. They said, we already set a gold standard. And niggas was standing on top of the gold saying, bro, we don't give a fuck. We're the value that backs this. You know what I'm saying? So the pride of life is one thing. And then when you have the lust, we say the lust of the eye and the lust of the flesh, all of that is like they put it in the scripture. They say, if your right eye offend you, cast it out. Okay? Or pluck it out and cast it from thee. They said it's better for you to lose an eye than it is for you to have your whole body be sent to the fire. You know what I'm saying? They say if a man lusts after a woman, he's already committed adultery with her in his heart. You know what I'm saying? It goes both ways. It ain't just the man, it's the woman too. But what's the point? The point is, if you're not able, this is what Malachi York literally put in the Holy Tablets. He said, anybody that cannot control their sex or their sexual energy, he literally said control their sex. He said, get away from them. If they cannot control that, meaning if they just next door, they will destroy you. They will destroy themselves. And he was referring to not just an individual person. He was saying a whole group of people, a whole race of beings. Okay, specifically the melanin dominant people, because he said they made sure we were the most horny people on the planet. You feel what I'm saying? He said they made sure that we were the most demonic people on the planet. That way you get into all the ghosts and the ghouls, and it ain't nothing different than you saying goths and all this. It's like, why they want us to be so dark? Why do they want us to be so evil? Why do they want us to be heavy metal? Why is hip hop now just a new version of emo music and all this other shit? Why? Why is it that it's so important for them? Okay? It's because, again, you get into Leviathan, which is very strong. That's your lust. So your pride is Lucifer, okay? And pride caused Lucifer to fall. And your lust is Leviathan, okay, which is very slimy, sneaky type of energy that moves through all of us, and it moves in real time in your earth plane also. Okay, what you call the great beast of the sea, which they may or may not have been telling people about. We got like the giant squids and the rest of these beings. But Leviathan was an actual sea monster was referred to, but it's something that is inside of you also. Okay, so if people want to be cautious about that, to answer your question, it's just that you have to activate more of the will. And it's not going to always be easy. Sometimes you're going to be like, man, this shit, man, if I just don't listen to this nigga Faise or to this nigga Young Elder or to my mama or to my own self, if I don't listen, I'll enjoy life. I'll have a better life. But what I'm telling you and what I'm doing my best to teach people is the whole key is they're trying to make you think like with the YOLO and the you only live once, let it all hang out, that's the route to go. But all the people who get at the end of that road regret that path. They regret that they didn't make the connections they should have made. They regret that they didn't deal with the people they were supposed to deal with, how they were supposed to deal with them. They regret that they didn't follow the true dreams or visions that they had because they were too busy trying to chase some shit that meant nothing. You understand? So at the end of that, you have to talk to more elders, okay? And I think he was telling me it was an elder that told you that. You have to speak to more elders, especially when it's their time to go. When you know they pressing 80 and 90, talk to them more. Let me tell you something. I really do wish that I still had my grandmother with me. She left when I was 7 years old, right? I talked to her all the time, but I wish that she didn't leave when I was 7 because there's so many more things that now that I'm older, I wish I would have been able to have a conversation with her about. Because of all of the different wisdom she was able to pick up, not only just her, my grandfather, you know what I'm saying, and Malachi himself, I wish I could sit down and talk to him because I know he the only person I could ask about some of the things I'm having experiences with. You know what I'm saying? So they made it be that I can't even, so a lot of this I'm left up to figure out by myself. But my point is, respect the elders while they're here. Talk to them while they're here, and you'll find out from talking to them. First of all, they're going to give you cheat codes. Whether you want to listen or not, they're going to tell you how to save 20 years of headache. They're going to tell you what, you might not want to hear it, but they're going to tell you some shit that if you listen to them, they don't set you ahead of people 40 years your age. You feel what I'm saying? If you just listen, because they had to go through it so you don't have to go through it. Are you understanding? So because people are attached to that pride of life, that lust of the flesh, and that lust of the eye, they've destroyed themselves. And they're teaching other people to do the same thing. And if people would just let go of that, you know what I'm saying, and start remembering what your religions taught you and the people that taught you. You know, I didn't know we were going to get into church, but the point is, God damn it, it's just like demons and shit.
You're going hard. I got a couple more questions too, based on what you said. Like, okay, so the pride of life. I noticed that's the number one tactic that the devil using on the young folks, and it's mostly dealing with, you know, like young NBA young boy, for example. Most of what he's doing, his whole rap, the drill, all that is dealing with pride. It's dealing with, nigga, you ain't gonna check me. I'm a gangster, and I'm the hardest nigga around. I'm the hardest there is, and if you come into to infringe on that, then it's a problem. So it's like it's really pride. So so. I think that's the number one weapon that's being used, period, against our people by the devil. Pride. I mean, lust too, but we've been freaky. The angels were freaky. They came down in Genesis. Yeah, well, we can get to that part, but I'm talking about, if I would know what he's talking about, but I'm talking about the pride. Pride is a hard thing to get around, man. I ain't gonna lie. It's a hard. That's
what J. Cole said. Pride is the devil.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Pride is Lucifer.
Yeah, he said pride is Lucifer, right?
That's what J. Cole said when it's on pride is the devil.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's the number one killer. It's the number one killer, man. I'm telling you. Like, the pride can come over you in a split second and you could kill somebody and not mean it. And then next thing you know, I know a whole bunch of my homeboys was sitting in the cell right now saying, damn, man, I wish I could have fucking this cool, be cool. They say they got life, and it can't be cool now. You got life, but you wish you would have been cool just off of niggas saying one thing to you, and you feel like your pride got hurt, and you got to kill them to prove a point. So
and they're gonna those people. Listen, You're not guilty because the judge gave you time.
Right.
The judge could give you time and you be innocent. You can commit a murder and not be guilty of murder. That ain't gonna make sense to everybody. It's not supposed to yet.
Right.
You can commit a murder and not be guilty of murder.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can commit any type of assault and not be guilty of the assault. The guilt takes place in your own essence, your own being. You can't lie to you. You know whether or not what you did was justified. So if somebody does a thing where they say this is what you call a grave sin, because they know that after they transgress and committed whatever this act was, they've bought themselves a ticket to the grave. What is the grave? The grave is the word Sheol, all right, or hell, okay? It's the pit that rests beneath your feet. When you get into the Yamadutas, okay, or the Jamadutas in Hindu, they're the ones who are literally, is interesting. They're the ones who are the messengers of justice. Because when you say Jama, you're saying justice, or Jama is also saying death. So a Duta is somebody, and listen to the word Duta because it brings you to the word deity, okay? A Duta is somebody who has a duty, and that duty is to carry out a message. So they're literally messengers of justice who will bring you from, if you spell Duta, D-U-T-A, all right, their goal, if you go and study about Naraka, and the lower lokas called the Yamaloka, and Jama was that person who's like the angel of death, who would be like equivalent to Osiris or Usir of the ancient Kemetic schools or knowledge or information or teachings, right? This angel of death had people or beings who would go and collect people after they passed away. If you never played the game God of War with Kratos, after he died, black hands would reach up and grab him down into the ground. That's the Yamadutas or the Jamadutas. And their whole purpose is if you were not able to ascend, it's open season. They can grab whoever didn't ascend. If you think they don't exist, then why do they put them in movies? And why do people experience them in sleep paralysis? Those are the beings that are waiting to grab people after they cross over. It's crazy. Let it be crazy. But I know it's the truth. You understand? You call them different things. But the purpose of me saying they have a duty is because they said the Zabaniya are not going to do anything other than what the Allah or Allah, the God or the being who everybody refers to as the source or whoever the commanders are, told them to do. And that commander in that particular story is Jama. And he says, anybody who is too heavy, bring them down to my world. You understand? Into the lower lokas. Now, if you spell Duta, okay, D-U-T-A, just flip it around and you get Duat, D-U-A-T. And the realm of Duat is also the netherworld or the underworld. And when you get into that underworld, they literally say they have to take your heart out, put it on your scale, weigh it next to this feather. And if you're too heavy, all right, how do you become heavy? You become heavy from guilt. You become heavy because you were not able to truthfully utter what you refer to as the 42 confessions. You weren't able to truthfully utter that. And does that mean that if you say, I have not murdered, or I have not stolen, or I have not committed adultery, does that mean that if you're saying that you've never done it? That's not the science. The science is, have you purged yourself of those deeds? And if you're not able to do it yourself, did you know a friend? When they said, let me introduce you to a friend of mine, did you listen to them or did you close the door? Because that Jehovah Witness may have literally been a Jehovah Witness, and you don't know that because all you're looking at is that just what you call the third dimensional plane or the flesh. But what if they were really angels? Let me tell you something. When I was placed in Hidden Branch, okay, literally the Hidden Branch, to be protected from the dragons that were moving at the time in 2020 up to 2023, okay, I had been there for 3 years and some time and never, ever had any Jehovah Witnesses come to our home, ever. As soon as it was time to leave, because I knew it was time to leave, I even was telling my family it was time to leave. I know it's coming, right? The fort that we've been in is falling apart. Our time here, we've overstayed our time. You understand? 2 sisters, melanin dominant women, came to the door about a week before we left. And they were Jehovah's Witnesses. And nobody wanted to go out and talk to them. I said, wait a minute, who's that out there? They're like, it's Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm like, yo, open the door. What are you doing? They came to your door. If they weren't supposed to, they wouldn't have. You feel what I'm saying? So I walked out and I have a conversation with them. We having whole talks about. They surprised at me. You know what I'm saying? Cause I got my hoodie on, I got my jeans sagging. Da da da. They surprised and I know the scripture. We going back and forth. Now we done had a whole bill. Those were two literal messengers. Are you with me? Two witnesses. So if they would have said, "Yo, let me introduce you to a friend of mine," then if you needed it, if you didn't accept it, that was on you. If somebody would have said, "Yo, come with me, I'm about to take my shahada. I think you should be a Muslim too. I think we should give our life to God or Allah." If you refuse, that was on you. If somebody say, "Yo, you need to become a higher version of yourself. You need to walk. I'm looking into these spiritual people lately. I'm getting my life together. You should come with me." If you refuse, that was on you. That's if you needed help, by the way. My point is, if you didn't need help, then you were able to cleanse yourself. How do you cleanse yourself? You come to grips with the fact that, for one, you're a human being, meaning you're literally, in this moment, being human. All right? If you were not supposed to be able to do the things that human beings are able to do, it wouldn't have been written so. Okay? Except if you don't know that the game is, you're responsible for everything that you've done. Meaning you're able to respond. When you're called forth for your deeds, you're able to respond. Are you with me? So it's better for you to respond now when you're calling yourself forth to judge you now, okay? To not condemn. That's my key thing for everybody. Don't condemn yourself. Commend yourself, okay? Meaning come and mend yourself, all right? And come and make amends with yourself that you don't fall again back into whatever those patterns or cycles or loops, because that's what hell is, by the way, were that caused you to feel the guilt that you felt. So for the people that are faced with guilt, it's like you think forgiveness is about, you know what I'm saying, oh, I'm sorry about this. You know, this person's sorry, so I'm just gonna act like the shit didn't happen. No, that's not what forgiveness is about. Forgiveness is about letting go of whatever the weight is. You ever, listen, if you ever really forgiven somebody for a thing, the weight is lifted. Have you ever gone to a person that you really trust to be able to talk to them and they talk to you and the weight is lifted off of you? Because you're able to see a reflection of yourself that overstands what you're going through. You get what I'm saying? So then why not have that reflection of you, which is you, overstand it, be easier on yourself so that this is a deep science now. You got to be able to hear me because everybody has their time. Everybody has their first death. Okay? It's coming for all of us. It's no fear. This is what it is. Be easier on yourself now, no matter what you did, whatever you think you did that is so unspokenly, whatever the fuck, treacherous and unforgivable or whatever. Listen, whatever it is you think you did, you need to go ahead and let go. Because there are beings that existed before you got here that have done thousands of times worse than that. And they were being human. So that's why they give you keys. They say, yo, all you got to do is give your life to Jesus. I think that's too simple for certain people. Some people need all of the deep science to get to this point. But like some people say, all you got to do is, look, give your life. Get baptized. Baptized. Nigga, the water don't mean shit. My Omi, who was Christian up to like 19 years old, she wasn't with none of the Christianity shit after that because she started to figure out more of the sciences. She still went to go get baptized not long after I was born or sometime after. I can't remember the exact. She would have to tell me. But she still went to go get baptized. She was going through a lot of things. She said she dipped in that water, came out, and she really felt whatever it is that these people are talking about. Sometimes, you ever tell me, say, give Jesus a try? Some of y'all niggas need to give Jesus a try first. You understand? Let me tell you something. I've given it a try. And I can tell you that from my own experiences I've come on here to speak about, you can't rule it out. I would tell you if you could. You can't. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. You understand? Because I literally feel that my life was saved from or by whoever or whatever that being was. I felt it and I heard the name. I said the name Yeshua. The name they told me was Jesus. But I said the name to myself, Yeshua. This being picked me up with green light and I was no longer sick. But I was literally in the middle of my home. Nobody even felt what I was after I got off the tour. Nobody could feel that whatever was on me, all right, that the book, whatever it was, what it was that was on me was killing me. And I was drained and I was losing my life. And then I decided that I would, whatever it was, I said no. and whoever this being was came and I gave it away, and they picked me up. You understand? So this ain't fair. That wasn't for everybody. I hope it don't turn you away just because you hear the word Jesus. That's unfortunate, because if you so high up there, that shouldn't turn you away, because you should understand the science. Because nigga that think they up there for real, you think you really deep like that, you think you high up there like that, come step with me and see how deep you ain't. Because if I'm saying that it's some shit to it, it is some shit to it. So the point is, the fact that people are feeling that guilt is going to cause for them to be heavy enough that when they cross over, all right, or transition, those beings will have access to them. And those beings they showed you in the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness movie, where they said it's forbidden when he was dream walking. You know what I'm saying? They also showed you in the Guys of Egypt movie where the other sister had the bracelet and she took it off and them beings reached forth through the portal and grabbed her ass through the portal. They show you these beings, these demons, as you call them, what we'll be talking about. But they have a job to do. You understand? A lot of them still have a job. So if you don't want to encounter them, just change the frequency. If you heard this, you were supposed to hear it. Whoever you are, wherever you are, including myself, if I play this back, you were supposed to hear whatever was said on this live, because it's a reminder for you. And that key word is reminder. If you don't know what that means, you don't know what it means. But it's a reminder for you. Go ahead. What you got for me?
I got another question for you, because that brings up another question.
Yep.
Now, is it ways you can avoid a lot of demons, because it is certain places they hang out. Like the demons some places they don't hang out. You might go to a place where they don't hang out. Yeah. But then you go to a bar or club or something where they hang out. So could you give us some places that demons might hang out that we might need to avoid? Go ahead.
Demons hang out any motherfucking where, if you really know. It depends on who's there already. Who opened the door to let them in? You ever heard of a gatekeeper? The gatekeeper is like, hold that door for me. You let them in, but you don't know when you let them in, a lot of motherfuckers came through with them. And they just standing waiting on their turn. You know what I'm saying? They waiting on when they can interact with you. You trying to figure out why this going on. They let them in. The demons is in the church. The demons is in the mosque or the masjid. The demons is in the grocery store. The demons is in the school. Listen to the word, show, school. They right there. This the teachers, the principal, the principalities. The demons is everywhere. The point is, if you don't want them to be in a place, then it takes a lot more energy, okay? Because they don't like being around green light. I told you that. Hey, look, you do not have to believe me, okay? But the moment we start letting out them green lights, what happened, young elder? They got upset. These demons been...
Man, I'm telling you. Hey, look, it been cool. It took about 3 days. Yeah. And now it's been cool ever since. It's been cool ever since. As long as I got the green light on, like the first 3 days when I turned it on, shit went crazy. Like anything that was like out of order or just wasn't right, it exposed it. And then about the 3rd day after all that shit, the smoke cleared, and then they realigned, and now everything is just going smooth. Yeah.
Exactly. Because that chaos was you upsetting demons around you and demons that were attached to you.
Uh-huh.
You feel what I'm saying? That's what the chaos was. You see the movie where they turn on the light and the demon gets screeching?
Right.
That's what happened. So if you're not literally able to just catch this, I think some things are just too simple for motherfuckers. Like we're saying, go get your green light. There's a movement taking place.
Right.
That is directly in alignment with the Most High. Right. If you can hear it, you can hear it. If you can't, then don't see me as an embodiment of that same spirit that Christ embodied, or that same spirit that Elijah embodied. Don't see me as that. You don't have to. I am that though. I'm embodying that same type of spirit. Right. And I'm saying, well, look, I'm not saying I created the color green. I'm not saying I created the science of the green. However, I was led to tell you to go get green lights. And I was also led to tell you that that's not going to be the last step.
Right.
So you're preparing for something else. Are you with me? So when we started to put it out there, it's like, if you're not going to actually get the green light, then transform yourself to be green light.
Right.
How you do that, Faise? I already showed you. I've already been telling you. Fasting. I've already been telling you. Retention. All the things that I didn't create it. I'm not taking credit for that. I'm just telling you that if there's ever a time for you to get these things, come in contact with your will, this is that time. Because willpower overcomes demons.
Right.
The willpower, it's a demon that says, hey, you trying to hit this blunt? That's a demon. Remember, Malachi said, watch the motherfucker that bring you the blunt. Watch the motherfucker that bring you the weed. You know what I'm saying? It could be a demon. Not saying that it will always be a demon. My point is, you trying to figure out how you got hooked on marijuana, but you forgot that a nigga gave you the marijuana 10 years ago.
Right.
You forgot you was just in a party and somebody reached over and said, you know what I'm saying? Peer pressure don't look like, come on, man, it's fun. Why you want to be lame? Peer pressure is niggas just hand you some shit.
Right.
He like, shit, fuck it. You just shrug. They don't gotta say no word. Niggas just hand you some shit. He like, fuck it. And he like, yeah, you hitting the shit and now you're hooked on weed for 10 years and you forgot that it was the devil that came through and you trying to get off of it. You trying to get off of the marijuana. You feel what I'm saying? So you know that it's something you're supposed to be fighting. Are you with me? You got to remember who brought it to you.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's not that person. What you say? Go ahead.
But no, I'm gonna say like say as soon as you about to quit, and you about to I'm quitting, right? You quit for like a day or two. The devil hey, bring your whole 7 for free. Yeah, hey man, just check this shit out for me.
He said, nigga, I just wanted to give you this. You know what I'm saying? We've been friends for a long time. That's the demon saying, I know you ain't thinking about stopping. I need you, nigga. You one of my main sources. Why would you stop? Come on now. Remember how much we've been through together? Remember I got you evicted? Remember you couldn't pay your car note because of me? Remember how fun it was to walk? We had long walks together. You know, every time you got upset, you need to be, I was there. Yeah, look, that's what I'm telling you. So you got to watch who brings you whatever it is that gets you hooked. Yeah. Because that's a demon. So the point is, they every motherfucking where. I was taught literally, don't leave your bathroom door open when you go to rest. And don't leave the toilet stool up to rest.
That's right.
Because disagreeable entities can come up through there. You don't have to believe that shit. I mean, people don't got to listen. You don't got to believe anything. However, the shit makes sense because they're attracted to dirty environments. They're attracted to dirty temples, not just houses, bodies, people. What does dirty mean? Dirty means if you can listen, if you took a grain of dirt every day and filled it up in a box, right? That box, whether you know it or not, is becoming heavier by the day.
Right.
Now imagine putting a whole bunch of dirt in the shit every damn day. Eventually, what was just a light box able to move freely, you can't even pick it up. But this piece of dirt ain't heavy enough for you not to be able to move some shit. You with me? So every small little thing starts piling up on people. That's why I say you got to do cleanses, spiritual cleanses, spiritual baths, baptism, whatever. You got to do something to be able to go back to ground zero and think, who and what am I? Meaning, what am I doing? And if you're doing the deeds of the demons, then what the elders say, you know yourself by the company you keep. You know what I'm saying? Show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. If you're surrounded by demons, it's like either you going to affect them and cause for them to turn their life over to the Most High and get back into the order of the green light and above, or they're going to bring you to where they at. Some of you say, look, I have the ability to do both. You know what I'm saying? I can rock with them and still be, yeah, you're right. Except at the time, you're picking up on things that you may not be aware you're picking up on. Things are being siphoned and pulled towards you and extracted from them and taken on for you that you may not be aware of. That's why certain households will say, yo, when you come in this house, take your shoes off first. Take your shoes off just because of the concept of dirt being trapped through the home. Right? Take your shoes off. All right? If somebody come in your house and leave and then everybody fighting in your home after they leave, they brought demons. This is real sciences. You can take them or leave them. You get what I'm saying? You go and you hug somebody, next thing you know, you drained. Either they was a demon or they had demons. You get what I'm saying? You got to be cautious. And if you're not cautious, you just won't know what's going on. So some people don't even know. They try to figure out why things might go array in their life. You have to look at who you were just around. If it's going array, then they probably brought that to you. You get what I'm saying? Now, it's not always negative. Shit, somebody brings some good things to your life, but then remember who you was around before the good thing happened. Or what message did you listen to? What deed did you do that changed this environment from a demonic environment to an angelic environment? What calls for, if you are a powerful person of light, I'm a powerful person of light. I could have been a kingpin, head honcho, OG, whatever the fuck I wanted to be, because I understand light. I chose to do positivity. You know what I'm saying? Okay, some people want to play that down and say you ain't gonna be able to reach it. They're not gonna listen. How come when I talk, they listen? How come when I reach the niggas in the hood, ain't nobody saying we ain't trying to hear that shit? It gotta be something. That's the difference between the false light and the true light. Because a lot of people will say they want to do positivity, but they operated in false light. A lot of people say they're here to bring people toward consciousness, but they operated in false light. When you operate in that true light, even the devil's got to nod their head when you speak. They ain't gonna nod their head while you're there. After you leave, they're gonna get all the nods out. They were holding them back the whole time. Even the devils, listen, it's devils in here right now. And they just like, damn, this nigga. I like this little nigga. You know what I'm saying? They packing the money into the suitcase to give it to the nigga. They said, but I like this nigga though. I might have to change him. Give me that money back. He ain't even said nothing wrong about us. This nigga, we don't even got to take him. I'm telling you, you bringing that true light, here go the key. It's a misnomer that Shaitan can't be reformed. It's just a misnomer. In all actuality, the seventh seal wasn't able to be opened. So before that seventh seal was opened, the seventh seal couldn't be opened. That was a fact. Until somebody shows up who can. So my point is, it ain't just the demons themselves, it's the places and the environments. If you want people to shift who they are and what they're doing, take control over the environment. Be the DJ, turn the tables around. They say, mine have the tables turned. Okay, DJs turn tables. We got such and such on the one. Okay, well then guess what? You got phase one on the ones and twos. We take this plane or this disc, we take this disc and we next thing you know, green light every motherfucking way. Next thing you know, Christian rappers rising up every time you take a breath. Next thing you know, there's no more drill music popping off. Next thing you know, the music industry quiet as all get out, and they don't even know what the fuck happening to them. Next thing you know, everybody's saying you got to make a decision. You either with God or you not with God. Next thing you know, Ye saying this. Next thing you know, Charles the White done did this. Next thing you know, you thinking because I'm the DJ that all of this is about me. A lot of times people don't even look at the DJ. But we steady remix, and then everything is changing. You feel what I'm saying? So shift the environment. Yeah, you'll go there. They'll be in the schools. Pop said, I want you in the schools. A lot of people don't know that. He said, I want you in the schools so you can see who the devils are. You should be able to know who they are. I want you to see what they look like. Their children and everything. You better know. Pops was in the clubs. He said, nigga walk up to him and said, ain't you Dr. York? He said, yeah. He said, well, what are you doing in here? He said, what do you mean you want to do? I'm in here with you. I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? You asking him, like, why are you here? You understand? We go to certain environments, certain places, and we can change the whole shit around. When we leave, it ain't going to be the same. So just remember true light. Demons don't have power where willpower is. They only have power when you get down or when you're depressed or when your psychic defense or your psychic self-defense is hindered or shut down, which we're going to get into psychic self-defense Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard you ask, what do we do? I want to say that because I want to make sure that's a whole, you know what I'm saying, lesson that people can go back and listen to specifically for that. The tools and the keys that I still use to this day. That, listen, that I don't give a fuck switch protects you from demons. And you have to make a split decision sometimes to be like, wait a minute, this motherfucker trying to go to war with me. Sometimes you got to look at motherfucker in their eyes. Like, what the fuck? Sometimes you got to really look at them. They'll be like, oh, shit, never mind. You know what I mean? Because you doing your thing. You helping these people over here. This motherfucker think they got you because you ain't. Sometimes you just got to hit a nigga with them. And I got shades on. And niggas left alive when I did that. You know what I mean? So the power is in you. You are able to defend yourself and protect yourself from these beings. And you're also able to protect others. That's a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying? Which the defense operates on different levels. You with me? What you got for me? One more
Oh
thing.
yeah, hey, we got one more. We got about 11 minutes. To two hours more.
I got one more thing to say.
Okay,
right? You can be your own shaitan. Remember that. You can be your own opposition. And if you're being your own opposition, then you're in good company when motherfuckers is opposing you. Sometimes it ain't just people opposing you. Sometimes you open the door and say, I don't even fuck with me. They say, you don't fuck with you? You say, yeah, I don't fuck with me. They say, I don't fuck with you either. They come over here. Now, y'all don't fuck with y'all together. Just be cautious of that. Make sure that you stand on truth at all times. Even if you're not ready to utter it, remember this, the willing tongue speaks truth. If you're not ready to utter it yet, write it down, just stand on truth. Don't try to avoid it, because then you start opposing the Most High or opposing God. Are you with me? And you start yielding to that carnal mind. Remember the word Satan? We say Satan, you say another word, Sate. Okay? And the word sate, if I sate a person, look at the word satisfy. You see sate right there. I'm causing them to take on all of the stuff that they desire, way more than what they need. That's a sate. Remember, I'll give you all these things, all these kingdoms. You understand? So remember that you have a purpose and don't drift. Stay on that purpose and don't be your own shaitan. You know what I mean? So all these different types of demons, you know what I'm saying? That's for you to know the different types of life forms. We get into all that. We got into all that. Okay, cool. Remember, you can do the works of demonic beings. So be cautious of that. And remember, if people are doing works of demonic beings around you, get the fuck away from them. Why do people listen? You can give them a warning. You can say, look, hey, I don't like what you're doing. You can't do that. Or just get the fuck away from them. You know what I'm saying? And surround yourself with people who are not doing those works. I don't care what anybody calls themselves. If their works aren't adding up to that, listen, if I say I'm a rapper and all I do is sing, I'm not a motherfucking rapper. You know what I'm saying? If I say I'm a construction worker and all I do in my life is taxes for motherfuckers, I am not a construction worker. I may work with construction paper. I'm not a construction worker. You know what I'm saying? Who you are is what you do. So when you call somebody a devil, listen, people say, Jesus called people devils. The demoniac will refer to the demons that was in it, they also call them devils. Don't think that we just making this shit up just to say random shit. No, it's about what people do. So if the niggas saying, yo, we consciousness, we going into this, that, and the third, and all they do is replicate the shit that the people that they claiming that they against is doing, them niggas is just using a different methodology to reach the planes that these people have reached, and they don't want to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? So just remember, you are what you do. You got me? So
birds of a feather flock together.
Exactly.
Hey, I got another question for you to close it out. We got about 7 minutes. Now, and I actually I Bodie about this. Some people are being used by these demons and don't know it. Like they could be sent out to stimulate one little part just to get to you to affect what you're doing, because you're significant, right? And you're doing something that's significant that's really affecting the devil. So are there people out here being used? How are these people being used by the devil without knowing it? Like without having a knowing of it? They even carrying out certain motions. They might just be to say one word to start a fucking argument, and this guy shooting this guy. Or one word that this guy said. Yeah. So how are these people being used by the devil from your perspective?
Their countenance could fall. Remember, countenance falls, sin is at the door. Cain and Abel. Countenance is similar to a psychic defense where you say you're upbeat and you're prepared to protect yourself and you're motivated, and all that shit fall. Nigga, lack of motivation can cause a motherfucker to really do damage. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have a lack of motivation and you ain't getting shit done in your life, you might look at a nigga getting shit done in their life and you start what? Acting off of envy. And that envy merges with pride. Another thing people remember is the 7 deadlies is like they all related. They the same shit, just different forms. You know what I'm saying? So you got envious of this person, and now you want them gone. But it's only because of your lack of motivation. So you don't look at what they're doing and say, I'm motivated by what they're doing. You look at what they're doing and say, why should he be allowed to do this? Why is young elder fuck with Faise One? What's so special about this guy? I don't know how you can ask that. But somehow you might ask, what's so special about this guy? I don't know. It's a delusion. So you ask that, and it might cause you to be envious. And I'll say to you, listen, family, What's special about me is that I got over myself a long time ago. I've been over myself. I've been over myself. If somebody tell you get over yourself and you get offended, you ain't on this level. Somebody tell me get over myself, I say you damn right. Shit, I been did that. You right. Because you have to be able to get over yourself in order to serve a whole plane of people willingly, knowing how they do people that, you know what I'm saying, dedicate their life to doing that. So the key thing for people to remember is if you're being utilized by a demon or a devil, let's keep it simple. A person, an OG, a mate, a mother, a father, a cousin, a brother. It's because, for one, you already accepted in a way through your actions that they're above you to give you an order. Right? So you're doing the works of somebody. Somebody's your master. One cannot serve two masters. You're doing the works of somebody. Either you're bringing chaos or you're bringing order. But you're doing the works of somebody. So if you're going to do these devilish works or carry out these deeds or whatever the hell somebody told you to do, somebody need to hear this, right? Then you already bow down and let somebody be your master. You might as well accept that reality and allow for somebody or something to be a master that's going to help this plane, not hurt it. The reason why people are being able to be used is because, again, we come back and we break it down. They don't have a psychic self-defense. Well, they don't have a psychic defense. There's multiple ways to say this shit, but they don't have that active. When you activate it, at the point in which you've activated it, then it's like you'll know whether or not you're working for the devil. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm only using these terminologies because the majority of the people that listen to any of these lives or these teachings or even my teachings or lives or whatever, they come from a Christian background because that's the biggest religion on the planet. Some of you may be beyond that degree. I'm not saying that you got to come back to that degree if you already understand it. But if you don't understand it, then this is for you too. All right? Stop working for the devil. Start working for God. Right? In the beginning of my song, Prayer, I said, if you're not, it was actually Ye. It was Kanye that was speaking Ye. He said, if you're not working with God, then you're working for the devil. Simple. We say all this lukewarm shit. We would rather you be hot or cold than lukewarm. What do you think this is? That's why niggas that thought that they didn't have to fight in the war got cashed out with whoever lost. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Azazel, what the fuck you doing? That ain't my fight. All right, bet. They beat the nigga up. They said, get out with him. You know what I'm saying? You see these niggas is causing a strife. Fuck you mean this ain't your war?
Yeah, with us, you against us.
Some type of way. Even if it isn't your war, you still gotta fight. This ain't my war. I'm still fighting. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the bottom line. Keep your psychic defense up, and we will come back and speak on that more. All right. If you want to get my books, like specifically this book specifically is the rehab book that we've been speaking about that breaks down some of it. All right. I also talk about it in the Who Knows the Secret book. I also head toward the psychic self-defense in the You Are Light All Right book. There's a few different books that I go into certain things with, right? If you want to get those books, the Cash App is Play for Change, PlayForChange. Send your donation and send your email where it says for. The donation can be any amount. It's been a whole bunch of different types of amounts that come through. I count them all as you fuck with me, you rock with me, you showing support. I'll send you all 10 of the books. You got 10 all together, and there's an 11th one coming. One more announcement is there is a fundraiser taking place. I just sparked that fundraiser. It's called the 144,000 fundraiser, 144K, right? So by April 1st, okay, it's intentional. The plan is to have raised 144,000. I haven't spoken on what the whole amount is yet because there's some other brothers who just came through and was speaking about making some investments. They just made some investments. So we already got a head start. All right. So if you want to help with that, however you want to help with that, I got people. There's a lot of people say, I said, look, just send $1. 144,000 people send $1. It should be done. Right. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want it, if you know you can send $1, send $1. You want to send 1,000, send 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to send 5,000, 10,000, whatever you can do. Let's get this done. It ain't on some. Oh no, it's not the money. It's the let's show them. You understand? We didn't need the labels ever. We didn't need any of this. Everything that we've been doing up to this point, get into the people, get into the masses. A great thank you to the brother Young Elder for allowing me to reach more people. You know what I'm saying? Opening up that door for me to reach more people instead of standing on me or holding on me, how a lot of these people did, knowing they see the light, knowing that people now going to pop say, look, there's somebody out here teaching this sound just like you. But they won't tell them that it's not just somebody teaching. They won't tell them it ain't just somebody teaching. It's somebody that won't let anybody disrespect Malachi York name.
Right.
Somebody that won't let anybody play with the mission. You cannot come nowhere near this. You understand? If you don't have respect for the one that opened up the doors for all of us to have access to this light. You ain't gonna do it while I'm here.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So when you go and tell them, when y'all go say that, don't just say no teacher. And I'm not saying it like you gotta tell them, because in all actuality, Pop see all this is going on.
I already know. Hey,
let's be real. Let's just cut all the shit. He see everything that's going on. You feel me? So if you want to help me, stand with me, rock with me. You can send funds. You will see what the funds is being used for, because you just go through my track record. Look at the catalog. Listen. You look at the catalog and see if you ever see me post any of these pictures talking about my fancy cars or all my outfits and Gucci belts and all this other shit. No, anytime I ever did a fundraiser, you see what I've been able to do. I got a childish children's movie that I animated myself, had the voiceovers come through and others. You've seen what I've done, the works that I've done. You will see more works continue. And I'm just asking for everybody that sees this. It don't matter. Listen, there's not a single person in here that can't send $1. It's not about no grub of trying to make you feel like you got to. It's about the fact that if you wanted to, you just literally would. You know what I'm saying? So you see what I'm bringing to the table. All right, help me, because I'll have funds to be able to do more, put out more content, more songs, more music. And my content and my songs and music have already changed the whole scene.
Right.
I appreciate you allowing me space to let the people know.
Hey, man, the same. Hey, this was inevitable. Like I say, your daddy put me on. So the same thing you doing, the same thing how I'm doing for you, your dad did for me. So it's like a generational thing, or a thing that just supposed to happen like this, you know.
Right.
So and then being that, then Malachi also came to me in a vision and said, get with Faise and y'all need to get this ball rolling. And so I see why he said it now, though. I see why he told me.
It don't
It's
stop.
all coming clear now. It's real clear now. Why this shit's got to be put the way just like we doing it. It's got to be doing it just like we doing it. And thank you, Faise. I thank you. You know what I'm saying? For you helping me out. We helping each other, and you see what happened when we work together. So it's beautiful. Y'all. So we better get up out of here, y'all. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We back Wednesday with the psychic defense, and then we back Friday too off what is here, because people got that question.
Okay, I'm with that. Yep, let's do it.
So Wednesday and Friday, y'all stay tuned. And like I say, that Cash App that he called out is right on the screen. You see it, play for change, the 10 books. Or if you just want to throw him a donation to show him some love for kicking it with you tonight. Like I said, we're gonna be back Wednesday night. Stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum, shalom alaikum, peace be unto you. Hotel.
Wadu.
Divine love throughout the boundless universe to all. Wadu. All right, hey, Faise, I just got this damn new program, bro. I'm fucking with it today a little bit. My wife introduced me to it, man. I can make cartoons and every fucking thing, bro.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be with it, man.
program.
It's called I'm looking at my phone. I'm gonna tell you, it's called some remix. It's called AI remix. So what it does is I can just type some shit in, right, and then it'll just make an image for it. I'll make a animation for it, and the shit pretty good. The shit. So I'm gonna make the thumbnails, everything, like the shit I'm gonna be doing. Like I'm telling you, man, this shit, I'm gonna make this shit to where I'm gonna be non-stop. My whole game plan is to get you financially straight to where you don't gotta worry about shit.
Hey, look,
and how I'm gonna do it
because you had the will to do that. It's already started. It's already started.
Yeah, I know. Hey, it did. But I got the game plan. So many ideas come to me when I thought about this. I say, we gotta do every fucking thing. And I had a vision of me and you riding around, and I was in a Benz. We was driving around. You had like a custom made chain that say Faise One on that bitch. I had me a custom made chain.
I know. Listen, listen. They saying we still live. I know we still live. I literally see the numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's no reason to stop it right at the moment. Like,
we good.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, peace. We about to get up out of here, kid. Hey, y'all. I know you. Hey, look.
I mean, let them hit the